Are we reaching a point where the price of new and used vinyl is going to level out soon? I want to talk about that today, plus the results of an interesting viewer survey I recently did. All that and more coming up on Friday Night Vinyl. Hi, my name is Frank. It's Friday. That means it is time to kick back, relax, and talk music. Dear 33ers, welcome to Halloween weekend. Let's start off with Record of the Week. This week's Record of the Week is the 1970 debut album from German band Lucifer's Friend. If you haven't heard of these guys, the sound on this album anyway, because the sound changed on subsequent albums, but the sound on this album is the perfect mix of Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Uriah Heep, and Led Zeppelin. Speaking of Led Zeppelin, there's also been decades-long controversy involving this album and involving Led Zeppelin. It's long been rumored that Led Zeppelin, how can I say this nicely, borrowed inspiration for the Immigrant song off of Led Zeppelin 3 from the opening track on this album, Ride the Sky. Check them out because there are definite similarities. Whether Led Zeppelin actually ripped off Lucifer's Friend, I don't know. Led Zeppelin 3 actually came out a month or two before this album did. Some people speculate that maybe Robert Plant and Jimmy Page caught Lucifer's Friend playing a club show and kind of borrowed inspiration there. Who knows? Regardless of all that, this is a great album. Unfortunately, as far as I know, it is not available on the streaming services. The album is uploaded to YouTube, so do check it out there. This is an original Canadian pressing. I lucked out and found it in a dollar bin a couple of years back because original pressings are hard to come by and they are quite expensive. Unfortunately, this one is not in the best condition, but at that price, I still grabbed it. I do have the modern reissue, however, which does sound great. So if you like what you hear, the modern reissue is also definitely worth picking up. That is this week's Record of the Week, the 1970 self-titled debut from Lucifer's Friend. So it's Halloween weekend. You guys celebrate Halloween, or what do you do this time of year? I know in our household throughout October we have horror movie nights every Saturday where we invite family and friends over to watch some horror movies, either classic or new. It's always a lot of fun. So I don't know if anyone else kind of gets into the season like that. We do some decorating around the house as well, but I absolutely love this time of year. Let me know what you do in the comments below. All right, let's talk about this reader poll first. I put this question up a week or two ago, and I do these surveys once in a while. If you don't know where to find them, go to the Channel 33 RPM YouTube page, go under the community tab, and you'll see there that I post these surveys once in a while. This one, 2,000 people responded to, which is pretty good. The question was, what is the main way you listen to music? And I falsely assumed that the vast majority of you would say records, but that's not the case. The options were records, compact discs, music streaming, radio, and other. 45% of you say that the main way you listen to music is records, so that's less than half. And nearly a third of you say the primary way you listen to music is via streaming. Again, I found this surprising. And if you look in the comments, people were not saying that they don't listen to records or compact discs. They were saying if they had to choose one and they were honest with themselves, most of the music they consumed was via the streaming services. And if I am honest with myself as well, it would be close between records and streaming. I do stream a lot of music for the convenience of it, and it can sound fairly good. If you have a nice high-resolution stream through the right equipment, it can sound as good, if not better, than vinyl. Of course, you're missing the whole tangible experience, right? The artwork, the lyrics, the dropping the needle, the ritual, all that. So for that reason, records are still number one for me. But it is really interesting. And seeing these results, too, I think I feel better about some of the content I produce because not every video on this channel has to do with vinyl or has to do with records, right? I do videos featuring rock news. I do videos just talking about album artwork and music history. I love the music history videos. Those are my favorites. I do videos about gear reviews and that sort of stuff. So knowing that I'm not the only one who listens to various, mediums for music, I feel better about doing those kind of videos. And finally, I want to talk about this whole thing of the rising cost of vinyl. Yes, I know we've beaten this issue to death, but I think, and I have absolutely no evidence behind this other than my gut, but I have a feeling we're approaching that point very soon where the price of new and used records are going to flatten out, where they are going to plateau. I'm calling it peak vinyl. I'm not sure if that term works or not, but let's go with it. And I'll tell you how I came to this conclusion. The price of records has really gone up in the past year or two in particular. And I think a lot of that has been linked to the COVID pandemic, right? More people are spending time at home, people are traveling less, and they were at least going to fewer shows and fewer concerts, so people had more disposable income. And a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a segment of people were using that money to get into vinyl or buy more records. And of course, it comes down to supply and demand, right? On the other side of things, with new records, pressing plants because of COVID, we've talked about this before, but they're facing issues getting raw supplies, raw materials to produce records. There were issues with transportation, all that sort of stuff. So there were problems on the supply end. Demand was going up, and those two met in the middle, right? And simple economics. With high demand, low supply, prices are going to go up. And that's exactly what we have seen, again, with both new and used vinyl. But it hasn't only been in the world of records, right? I mean, you look this past summer, the price of lumber, for example, exploded. Again, there were supply issues and there was a lot of demand. People were at home and they were doing a lot of home renovation projects that caused the price of lumber to explode. Of course, once the supply issues were rectified, the price of lumber went back down. I am not saying that the price of vinyl is going to go back down, but I do think, kind of like with lumber, hopefully anyway, demand is kind of going to reach a point where it's balanced with supply. Hopefully that'll contribute to the price of vinyl leveling out or plateauing. Again, I could be completely wrong. I'm not an expert in this matter, but I mean, these prices just cannot keep increasing. I mean, $30-$40 for a record, where does it end? I mean, it's going to end somewhere. If not because of COVID, eventually people are going to go, okay, enough is enough. I'm not spending that kind of money anymore. But this is my opinion. I'd be interested in your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, 33ers, that is my Friday update. Let me know what you thought. If you dug this video, I would appreciate a quick thumbs up. I hope you all have a great Halloween. Until next time, keep on spinning.